Friends, Sheriff Keith Swank is the elected sheriff of Pierce County. Yeah, he's a great one. He's a great one. Keith brings over 3 decades of law enforcement experience and a steadfast commitment to conservative values, public safety, the rule of law, and support for officers on the front lines. A U.S. Army veteran, a former Seattle police captain, he has led SWAT, Canine, Harbor Patrol, and bomb arson units, specializing in crisis intervention and de-escalation. Despite facing persistent media attacks, Sheriff Swank remains unflappable and unwavering in his dedication to restoring law and order. Come on up, Sheriff Swank. He's become a good friend of mine.
Thank you. I've been working on my escalation tactics lately. You can see that if you follow me on X, which is at Swank, the number 4 America. You'll keep up to date on what's going on. Thank you all for being here tonight. My name is Keith Swank. I am the 48th I'm the 48th sheriff of Pierce County. And I'm the first sheriff of Pierce County ever to be elected from outside of the office. Thank you. And the reason why that's important is because when I ran for sheriff, almost every politician in Pierce County was against me. They didn't want me to win because they wanted to keep things status quo. However, Senator Jim McEwen supported me from the very beginning. As a matter of fact, he's been telling me for years, Keith, you need to run for sheriff. Keith, you need to run for sheriff. And I told him, I don't want to run for sheriff. When I'm done being a cop, I want to be done being a cop. And I ran for Congress a few times. He said, sheriff is where you should go. And ultimately, I ran for sheriff and was elected in 2024. Thank you very much. I am very proud to be the sheriff of the 59th largest county in America, representing almost 1 million people. And 10% of the state of Washington. I am very proud of that, and thank you all very much for putting me here. It's a big responsibility to be the sheriff of Pierce County because I'm not the chief of police. Other sheriffs were, well, they weren't even the chief of police. They just were there. But it's a big deal. People who don't like me say things like, Sheriff, you should just be doing law enforcement. That's it. And I tell them, no, no, no. And I know many of you in here voted for me because you want me to stand up for your rights. And I tell them I stand up for their rights and for the Constitution. And yes, along the way we put bad guys in jail, but most people in the county aren't bad people. They're really good people. And I need to defend their rights for them to be able to have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and that's what I stand for. The attack against me, because it was me, because I had no problems with sheriff before, began right after I was elected when the county council passed legislation, maybe meaning well, but I'm not sure. Maybe they didn't think it through, but where they said that I had to have permission from the county council in order to select my command staff. Well, it was a big deal because they told me that. So I went to the prosecuting attorney, who is my legal advisor by statute, and I said to her, this is what's going on, and they have no right to do that. And she said, oh, yes, they do. And her chief legal advisor said, oh, yes, they do, Sheriff. They have the right to do that. They can tell you what to do with your office and who you hire because they have the purse strings. I said, no, they don't. I told him about the court case that was going on that already showed that sheriffs had the right to pick who they wanted to. You issue the budget, I pick the people, not you. But I had to keep fighting with them and had to acquiesce, and finally I got my staff together. But right after that, the executive said, I'm going to issue an executive order because I don't like Trump. Everybody here in the politics around here in Pierce County doesn't like President Trump, and so people pay for that, right? So I'm issuing an executive order that says no county department or any elected official is allowed to enter into any contract, memorandum of agreement, memorandum of understanding with the federal government without my permission. So I went to the prosecutor again and said, hey, Madam Prosecutor, this is what's going on. He doesn't have the right to do that. It's unconstitutional. She told me, oh no, he's got the right to do that because in the Pierce County Charter, we're a charter county, I'll tell you all more about that later, it says the sheriff is an executive department of the executive. That's something we have to fix this year in our charter, people. It's causing me trouble. Anyhow, she said that, and I said, well, if that's true, if he can issue an executive order, then I guess he can issue an executive order tomorrow or today that says Keith Swank is no longer sheriff of Pierce County. And she said, no, he can't do that. You're independently elected. And I said, do you see what's going on here? And so I told her she was incompetent and that I was going to find another attorney. So I found another attorney, and then the prosecutor filed a lawsuit against the attorney. An injunction was filed, and the judge said this. Listen, this is what the judge said. Sheriff Swank is not allowed to have an attorney other than the prosecuting attorney unless the prosecuting attorney decides to pick an attorney for Sheriff Swank. Did you hear that? So the judge filed an injunction on my attorney, and then the prosecutor picked an attorney for me to represent me against her and limit his scope of authority. And people said to me, well, why don't you just sue her? I can't have an attorney. Have you ever heard of that? People say, no, it can't happen in America. Yes, it's happening in America. It's happening in Pierce County. I can't have an attorney of my own choosing. You heard me right. My attorney wasn't even going to charge you any money. She was going to represent me for free. They wouldn't allow it. So they hired me an attorney for $400 an hour, and now they write stories about me about how much money I'm wasting. So that's what we're fighting on here, people. I got 3 minutes to go, so I'm going to tell you some more things. State legislature is going to pass a sheriff qualification bill this year, and in that bill, they're going to say things like this. If there's any hate speech, the sheriff can be decertified. And they already have 3 complaints against me at the Criminal Justice Training Center, which is weaponized. And one of them is because I said this on X, this hate speech. I said, transgender women are men. And so now they want to decertify me for that. And I don't know if my friend Peter Talbot from the Tacoma News-Tribune is here tonight. He's supposed to be here. And Peter, if you're here, I'm glad you're here. I want to say that again so you can write it down right. Transgender women are men. So some people say to me, well, Sheriff Swank, you have lots of sheriffs on the east side of the mountains, and they're conservative, and they'll really just stand up and defend you. Guess what? There's a couple. The rest of them, who are members of the Washington Sheriff's Association and the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs, say to me, we should compromise with them. We'll write up our own bill of qualifications, and then they'll accept that. And I told them they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know politics. They don't know Democrats. And they try to tell me I don't know what's going on. And I say to them, and I'm saying to you again, I won the election of a county of 1 million people. I know what's going on politically, and you can count on that. So I decided I'd start an organization of sheriffs myself. It's called WSSWS, and it's Washington State Sheriffs with Spines. And I got one member tonight. January 15th, they'll be discussing this bill down in Olympia. I suggest you all go down there. I'm going to change my schedule around to go down there. I'm going to wear my uniform. I'm going to wear my gun belt. I don't know. Maybe they won't let me in the place. Then I'll have to tell them I'm a sheriff. I'm allowed to do that. I don't know where that will go. But I'll be down there. I'm fighting for your rights every single day. You can ask Mrs. Sheriff. We fight together every day for you, and we'll never stop. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Pierce County. And God bless America.
He's the best.